Your screen is visible.
Is it not visible?
It is
It is
visible.
visible. It is
Oh,
visible.
okay. Now interceptor, right? Okay, first let me go to that documentation thing.
Yes.
Uh, Postman sessions. Yes. Okay, here you were talking about this export, import, and share collection, right?
Yeah, yeah. This like
This one. Yeah, we haven't covered this, so I have highlighted in a different color. Now,
mhm.
after this, okay, you're talking
It-
about this
yeah,
interceptor, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Intercept API calls
yeah,
using
interceptor is used. Let me open this. We can install an Google Chrome extension, which is known as Postman Interceptor. Okay, you will find it here when you type in.
it's like what I'm using because it's from the browser.
It's an extension. It's an extension on the Google Chrome browser. It's not a website.
Mm-hmm.
It's an extension. Like, how can I say? I mean, any extension we can say. I mean, if you go to Google Chrome extensions, which you can use, these are the. I mean, you have Apple Store, Play Store, right? In the same way, Chrome has its own store where we can have its own applications where we can download and install it and we can use them. Like one of the thing where I can show you is this Go Full Page. Go Full Page is one of the extension. Like if I come here, Go Full Page Chrome extension. What exactly this does is it will take the screenshot of the complete screen. I mean, you need not scroll down and take a screenshots of every part. When you click on this Go Full Page, it will go ahead and what they say, it will go ahead and take the complete screenshot of the full page. In the same way, you have Postman Interceptor as one of the what they say extension, one of the extension on Google Chrome, where you can use. Now if I go to sign in, okay, let me close this. Let me see if this interceptor is, yeah, it's ready to capture. Now, let's say if we do not have a documentation, there is no documentation provided to you. Um, let's say you have been told that go to this automation step-by-step website and perform API testing on this. Okay, but there was no documentation. No, none of the documentation was provided to you. So how would you test it? How would you know to test what APIs to test? So in here,
Dev dev tool.
yeah, dev tool
Use
is
dev.
one of the option. Yeah, dev tool is one of the option. Here you can go to dev tools and you can test from there. If you want to know more, if you want to know from the postman, if you want to test it from the postman, then what you can do is click on this first go ahead and install it, like postman interceptor Chrome extension. Okay, the first link, let me check here and let me copy this here and paste in here. Okay, go to this link and install it. I mean, add it to the Chrome browser. Add it to the Chrome browser. Once you have added it to the Chrome browser, when you click on this extensions icon, okay, you will find it over here and you need to pin it. Once you have pinned it, then you can see at the top, here at the top. So first what you need to do, you need to go to the website and add it to the Chrome browser. It is especially for Chrome, not other browsers. Huh? Add it to the Chrome browser. Then click on this extensions icon. Then see where exactly that is listed. Then pin it. Once you have pinned it, then you can see in here, like if I unpin it, then that is removed. Okay, it is removed from here. Now I'll pin it once again. Then I can see that Postman interceptor here. once we have this Postman interceptor, I need to click on this, and we need to make sure that the Postman is logged in. I mean, we are logged into the Postman on the browser. On the browser, we should be logged in so that this Postman interceptor will be active. It will be in green in color, ready to capture. It will be in green in color. Okay. Okay. Let me. Okay. And now, once we have green in color, why exactly it's not happening ready to capture, but it's not happening? What's happening? Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes. And I need to also open the Postman application. Oh, yeah, I forgot to do this. Okay, once we have the both the browser and the application opened, then go to this. Still it says, still it says, okay, it was working on that day. I'm not sure why exactly. Capture requests, ready to capture, everything looks fine. Uh,
I think you have to reload the page.
yeah, I did. I did reload the page. It's not working. Still it says all methods. Yeah, this is
Ashish,
fine.
can you log out and log in again?
Okay.
Maybe work.
Log out. Sign out. Sign out. Close this and right. Okay. Interceptor disconnected. This is fine. Open Postman app. This is okay. Open Postman. App is opened. Okay. Open Postman app. And, oh, now let's see if it works. Yeah, Postman app is opened. Now let's see. Ha, now we have it. Okay. So what change they have done is we need not to log into browser anymore. Okay. No need to log into browser anymore. We can, if only a Postman app is open, then it's more than enough. Okay. Now, once we have this Postman app opened and once we have this interceptor ready to capture, now go to the website where you want to test it. Okay. And click on the start capture, reload this page, then navigate to any of the pages, whichever you want to navigate, or whatever job, whatever task you want to do, you can just do that task. Once the task is completed, come back to this icon and click on stop capture. Then again say open Postman. You can see the documentation is created. Sorry. You can see that you can see all the requests that went through, that came through on the Postman app. Now you can use these requests in order to um, test your website. You can test your website using this, but mostly you might only test get, because post we need authentication at times. So yeah, yes, Karthik, yes.
In capture, it's like display the Meets Google Meet link also request, right?
Sorry,
You are
sorry,
accepting on that.
I didn't get you.
In yeah, in extension, click on
Uh-huh.
extension.
Yeah, extension, right?
It's
Sorry,
also
sorry.
domain is like different thing. Domain is different thing. Like
Yeah.
click on like domain is different. Like Meet Google dot is different, and step by step is different thing. Domain is different thing. Capture, right?
No, sorry, I didn't hear you. I can't hear you clearly. Sorry.
Yeah, Ashish, I say
Uh,
in like whatever we capture the request, like
uh-huh.
it currently also inside we have
Okay,
applied
okay.
so it domain
Understood.
is different thing, right?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
please
Yeah,
check.
here.
Yeah, domain is different thing.
Yeah,
Meet, Play Google, automation step by step. So it's different applications also.
Yes, yes. So we need to make sure that only the ones which we have automation step by step, we are testing those only. Right, right. Correct. Thank you, Tatik.
Yeah.
Because this is Meet Google,
Yeah.
Play Google, which all that is
Yeah,
the reason.
you are adding
Yes, yes,
something like that. So that's also
yes, yes.
capturing
It is
Yeah,
capture all the
all
browser things.
yes, all
activities.
everything. It captured everything. I think we can make this all domains and URL. I think please enter to apply filters. Let's say press enter. Okay, nothing happens. Press enter. Incoming request must. Okay, maybe we can do this thing. Okay.
Can we filter out with domain?
Yeah, I'm trying that.
Okay.
Okay. Enter. Okay, I think this is the only thing we need now. Oh, let me do one more time. Let me quit this. We don't need it. Okay. Yep. Open Postman app. Open Postman. Okay. And then interceptor is opened, and we have refresh this. Okay. And then come back here. Yeah. Now we have one URL filter. I mean only the website which we need, only that is over here. And we can also, I think we can we don't want copy. Okay, we just need get, post, put. Oh my god, they are like patch and delete. We don't want copy, we don't want head. Okay, let's only go with get, post, put, patch and delete. I know it's not displaying as tick, but it's white in color. That is the reason it's not displaying as tick, but it is actually, it is tick. Okay, now once we have all these 5 selected, and once we have the URL filter over here, let's see if it works in this way. Okay. Start capture, and then say enter, and then about, then training, then again home, then stop capture. Okay, open this one. I mean something. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we found out that if we only give, sorry, where it went. If we only give the URL which we want to work on, and the only methods which we want, if we tick them, then only that are coming through here. See, only so we only retrieved information from the website. So that is the reason we only got that particular website information, and we haven't created anything, and we haven't modified anything, we haven't deleted anything. That is the reason only the get methods came through. We do not we haven't done anything extra. So that is the reason we did not get any post, put, patch or delete things. So this is where interceptor comes into picture. Okay, do one thing. Whenever you, I'm pretty sure interceptor, we will not be using interceptor, because when you are working in real projects, you will be provided with the documentation. But if you're not, if you're not being provided with the documentation, and you have the website at your in your hands, then use this interceptor. Okay, and put your URL, whatever URL you want to test on. Like I can say, if I want to test now www.google.com, I think we need HTTPS. Okay, and then hit enter. So it will be added. Then we select the methods that we want: get, post, put, patch and delete. Once we have this, go to the website, go to new tab. You can also say go to new tab, and then click on start capture. Then go to google.com, and then say okay. So then you stop the capture, open Postman. There you go. You only get the Google ones. You don't get any other domains. Only the Google ones you got it. Now you can test them. Now you can test them by creating a collection and then adding creating folders, or you can drag and you can just use these links which are endpoints, and you can test them. So this is all about interceptor, but mostly we will be not using interceptor in our projects. We will be provided with the documentation. So yeah, the only filter that the only things that you need to set up over here is add the URL filter. Uh, I mean the link that you want to test on and the methods you want to test on. Select them. That is all you need to do. And I need to now I can close this. Okay, close this one as well. Okay. Any questions on this, please?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. It's clear now.
Okay, great. Next.
Yeah.
Next.
And another question, please.
Yeah.
So for dev tool, actually we were looking and we didn't we forgot, actually we knew, but we forgot where to find the body and the header. We go to dev tool.
Oh, okay.
And then we go to network and fetch,
Yeah.
and where to find for post and put. Thank you.
Okay. Say you need to go to network tab. In dev tools, go to network tab, and then let me show step by step. Then in here you will find, when you click on the API, you will find the status code, request method, and response headers, and also the what do you say, request headers. You'll also find request headers. I think we just need to reload this.
So we need to click any API, right? Then we only get header response.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we have to.
Hmm.
And if there is any body present, then it will be added in this way. It will be shown in under payload. I mean the JSON body which we add, that will be shown under the payload. Okay, if there is any, this is CSS doesn't have I mean CSS is one of the scripting language to create a website, so it doesn't have a body. I mean only when we are creating a website, then it has it. How can I show anything which, let me see if fetch it. No, this website doesn't have that. Let me see if W3 schools has it. W3 schools has it. See, there are some. I mean, there are. You can see here. There are. You can see that there's some of the body, but this is this website which we are checking. This might not be the complete data, because some of the data they don't want to expose. Some of the data websites do not want to expose for security reasons. So that is the reason you might not see the complete data here. But when you're testing your own company websites, all the data will be present. Each and every data will be present under the payload. If there is any body, and that body has JSON data, then that data will be presented under the payload. So this is how you can check your what they say, under DevTools, you can check your API requests. Especially go to network and then select fetch/XHR. Do not select all, because you will be really confused over here, because there will be a lot of things. I mean, if I come here, I think I haven't said here. It's in the next document where I have said about what exactly is presented under all. No, not here as well. This is 7. Where did I say it? Where did I say it? Some of the document I did say about where exactly. Is it 8? No, not in 8 as well. Maybe in 5. Oh, where did it go? Oh, I need to check where exactly did I say it. I did mention like all has was it? Okay, We'll come to that. Let me search for the document. And the next
Maybe
question,
in the
please.
previous documents.
Yeah, next question, please. Hello.
Actually, Ashish,
Uh,
we just studied till curl, like why use curl before that. So not
okay.
not
Anyone
after.
else who has completed 6 and 7?
No, yeah, actually, I have to go through. Honestly saying,
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Can you please, Ashish, can you please repeat again the difference between curl and CRUD and API endpoint? This is really confusing. This.
Okay. See, when it comes to
Thank you.
curl, yeah, sure. When it comes to why use curl, this is mostly used by the developers. Okay. Before that, it was in document four, where I have explained what all consists and what fetch/xhr consists. All consists everything: API calls, images, CSS files, JavaScript files, everything, whatnot. But fetch XHR consists only the API request. So always go with what they say, always go with fetch XHR tab only. Do not go with all. Okay. And here we have less number of requests, but when you're testing your own website, your project website, you might find a lot over there. Okay. Now coming to, so it's documentation 4. Okay. Where I've explained. And okay, when it comes to curl is like it's mostly used by developers, and testers do come into picture, but very rare, very rare testers come into picture. And it is all about curl. You mostly test it on the command line tool. Mostly, I mean, we test it on the command line tool, but it is the same. It is the same where we perform get, post, delete, patch. The same way we use commands in this way. We in Postman, what we do in Postman, um, if we come to and, product, add a product. Here we are just adding a URL. We are just adding an endpoint. We are not giving this curl.exe command. We are not giving that curl.exe command. But when it comes to testing the curl commands, then we have to provide this. Like if I come here and open a command line tool, enter here, and so this is how you test the curl. But I am pretty sure that curl, you might not be testing curl, because nowadays the curl is mostly tested by the developers. And okay, difference between curl, CRUD, and API endpoint. Okay, API endpoint is the one which you here this add is an endpoint. Its add is an endpoint, single product. Here one is an endpoint. This is a query parameter. Ignore it. Here one is an endpoint. I mean, where exactly you want to reach. The destination is called as endpoint. Okay. And the curl is like, it's the same. It's almost the same. And thread is nothing but it's create, read, update, and delete. So if you come to the difference, this is very slight difference. Okay, like an endpoint is restaurant's menu. If we think about in API way, then here orders is the only orders is the API endpoint. Okay, and manipulating data, when you're manipulating data, then that is where CRUD comes into picture. Okay, and well, it's also, I mean, how can I say? Okay. Um, Girl, how can I say, girl? Um,
There is an example here, like
yeah,
a
yeah,
font to call.
yeah.
If you can explain, please, that example.
Okay. See, API, how exactly API works? You walk into the restaurant. Okay, you walk into the restaurant and you ask, you order food, uh, by calling the waiter. Okay, here waiter is an API, right? And CRUD is nothing but your asking waiter, and then he's bringing you food, and you're adding something on it. Then you're modify, like let's say you ordered pizza, okay, and then you wanted some extra cheese on it. So here, first ordering pizza is read. Okay, here if I let's say um, okay, CRUD, right? Let me make it bigger. Here, this C equal to create, R equal to read, U equal to update, and D equal to delete. Okay, so CRUD is create is ordering a pizza. Okay, let's say getting a pizza. Okay, you're getting a pizza. Okay, now sorry, not create, not create. Read. This is getting a pizza. Okay, and here ordering a pizza. Okay, I mean they will go ahead and they will create it and prepare it. Everything will be done. Okay, and update is adding extra cheese. Okay, and deleting is if you don't like onions, then remove onions. So this is a CRUD option operation. Okay, it's a create read, which is create equal to post get. This is update is
Patch.
and
Put,
Patch.
Put.
put and
correct,
patch.
Patch.
Put or patch.
correct,
Yes.
correct. And delete
Mm.
is
Delete.
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 okay, amazing. Okay, so this is all about CRUD. Okay, so we have API endpoint. We done with API endpoint. We done with CRUD, and we done with oh, sorry, curl, curl, right? Curl is like, you haven't walked into the restaurant. Okay, you haven't walked into the restaurant. You called the restaurant. So someone picks your order, right? So the phone call, the medium that you're using is called curl. So I mean, the actual waiter is an API, but when you're walking into the restaurant, that is where you're directly contacting the API, directly contacting the API. I mean, directly talking to the waiter. But here, you are at home and you're not directly contacting the waiter. You're using a medium to talk to the waiter or someone who answers who takes your order. So that medium is called as curl. So that curl where we have used this curl.exe, it is the medium. It is a medium to connect to this API endpoint. In order to test this API link, we need this medium. If we don't have this medium, then we cannot test it. Like, let me show you. Okay, I'm not using that curl.exe, and I think get works. Still works if you don't give. See. So I haven't used that medium. I haven't used that medium, so it gave me an error. Now if I use that medium, which is curl, and then paste it, it works. But in Postman, we don't need that curl.exe thing. We can directly paste in the URL, and that URL will work, and we can directly test it. That is the only difference. That is the only difference between curl, CRUD, and API endpoint.
Thank you, Ashish.
Sure.
I just
Yeah.
want to,
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
yes.
Uh,
I want to ask you this comment tool. Do we still use it, or it's like old thing? We
we
don't use
will
it
be we
anymore.
will be using it very soon when we will be working on Newman. That is where we will be using this tool.
Mhm.
We will be using this tool.
Yeah. So now when you try to test this, with curl, so you just put it, you just take the URL and you put it in the comment, and then you click OK,
Yeah, hit enter.
enter, and
Enter.
then
Yes.
it's
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Because I
So
have no idea about this tool. this
No,
command
we will
chain?
be definitely coming to this thing. And I think I have one website where you can work, where you can use, but yeah, you can see, we can create also. We did create using the same long length command. We have created something new. And there's something it says, okay, position and something went wrong. Okay, we need to test this. We'll check later. So this is all about curl. Okay.
Yeah, okay,
So
thank you.
welcome. So I'm now coming back here. Okay, after curl, what was it? Then okay, standalone and third-party APIs. Please read through this. It's a self-explanatory. Okay, it's I'm pretty sure it will be easy to understand. And then monolithic and microservices architecture. It is also like okay, monolithic is like every every toy or every um the complete vegetables are in one basket. Okay, if the basket goes bad, then every vegetable in that basket also might also go bad. That is what monolithic is all about. Like every software code is in one particular box. So if single things goes bad, then every complete software might go bad. So for that, they came up with a solution as microservices. Like you put onions in one basket, potatoes in one basket, then leafy vegetables in one basket, tomatoes in one basket. So if one of the let's say onions might not go bad. Okay, if tomatoes goes bad, then other vegetables are safe. In the same way, microservices is also the same. Like Facebook login code might be in one box, and code might be in one box. Comment code might be in one box. Uploading picture might be in one box, or writing text might be in one box. Sending a request might be in one box. So let's say if sending a request goes bad, all other areas are working good. It will not affect all other areas. But in monolithic, if let's say sender request goes bad, then whole Facebook application might go down. It might not be accessible. That is the only difference between monolithic and microservices architecture. Monolithic is very old. Microservices is the recent one. For the solution, they came up with this microservices architecture. Okay, and this is the difference, monolithic and microservices, where one big unit, and here this is a one big unit, and here smaller independent services. Okay, and then came microservices testing. How do you do microservices testing, and what all testing types are involved in microservices testing? Here, unit testing and contract testing is developers' job, not our job, not our job. So you can ignore these. And yeah, I just explained like what is unit testing and contract testing, and there was a recent documentation which I have shared, which is called revision 1, in which I have explained more about contract testing. So is it clear till here?
Yes.
Okay, amazing.
Yes, yes.
So we are done with sorry, what
Session
interceptor.
6. Yeah.
Interceptor. Okay, we haven't done this. Okay, export collection we haven't done this. API testing without documentation we are done. Curl we are done. Curl commands we have done. And difference between curl, CRUD, and API endpoint is done. And yeah, standalone and third party, it's like yeah, please read it. It's self-explanatory because it's almost like same like public APIs and private APIs and open APIs and composite APIs. Okay, so it's mostly related to that. And then monolithic microservices architecture is done, and okay, and yeah, versus is done, and microservices testing. How do you do microservices testing is done. Okay, and testing types involved in microservices testing is done, and difference between microservices testing and API testing. Okay, this microservices testing is completely, I mean, it is linked to one and another. Like if I show in here add a product, get a single, add a product, get a single product, all products, update a product, delete a product. If we combine all this everything, then that is called as microservices testing. But if you are only testing add a product, we are only testing add a product, nothing else, then that is only API testing. I mean, testing one single request which is not connected to anything. It's not dependent on anything. It is not at all dependent on anything. Then that is API testing. But if we are if one API request is dependent on another API, then the complete set is called as microservices testing. Here, let's say this is okay. This is a microservices testing. But if I go in here and say add a request, and then let's say Google. Okay, and then give https www.google.com. Okay, save, send. So is okay, JSON and then HTML. Okay. So this google.com is not linked to any of this. It's not linked to add a product, get a single product, or all products, or update a product, or delete a product. It's independent. We can test it independently. So this is API testing. But when we are combining completely, then that is called microservices testing. Okay. One
So
API's request is dependent on other API request.
Ashish, how we know that they are dependent or independent? Is it
Okay.
like in the requirements, or
Yes,
you
it
can
will
just
be
there
in the
is something?
requirement. It will be in the requirement. And also, see,
Mhm.
if you want to update a product, okay, if you want to update a product, can you update a product without adding a product? If there is no product
No,
at all, if there is
no.
no product
Yeah,
at
you
all,
cannot update.
can you
You
delete a
cannot
product?
update. You cannot
Yeah.
change.
Can you
No, you
delete a
cannot.
product? So that is the reason.
It must exist first.
Yes. So that is dependent on another request. So we will get to know in that way. And yes, documentation, understanding documentation is very, very, very important. Reading and understanding documentation is very important. Documentation gives you most of the answers. Most of the answers will be provided in the documentation. And what exactly we need to do if the documentation is not clear?
We said we have to
So we
go
need
through
to
this.
ask, yeah, to developer.
Okay, you can talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can go to dev tool, or we can go to that's what we call it. That's
No.
Postman. That is no.
No.
Go to developer and ask.
No. There's another person whom you need to
Actually,
approach.
BM.
BA.
BA, yes.
BA,
Assist
BA,
intelligence.
sorry.
Business analyst.
Did the,
You need to ask business analyst, not developer, not dev
Mm.
tools, not Postman interceptor, nothing like that. Okay. You need to ask business analyst because it is his job to provide the proper documentation.
but it's the developer who make them, who make the
No,
API.
no, no,
So
no,
you
no.
can you yes,
Developer
yeah,
creates as
create
per
them.
the documentation. But if the documentation itself is not complete, developer might miss it. Okay, developer might miss it, and he creates and he gives it to you for testing. But it is our job also to see the documentation once again, read out the documentation once again, and see if the documentation is proper or not. If the documentation is not proper, then reach out to business analyst. Please do not reach out to developer because he will not be able to help you out. He will
Because
definitely
the
guide you
yeah
to a
the
BA only.
develop the developer, he put them in Swagger, and they are very clean. They're well organized there. It's easy to to find. I
Which
think
one? Sorry.
so. Like the developer, when he create them,
Uh-huh.
he developed them. He put them in Swagger. Okay,
See.
and you can
Okay.
go back to them. And
Hmm.
actually you can even test them in Swagger. So
Hmm.
they are very clear there. So you can just click, like in the dummy JSON, you can just click on it
Okay.
in one of the API.
Let me open the Swagger thing. because I'm hearing this. Okay, let's go with Swagger. Okay, this Swagger. Okay, the Swagger is also created on the documentation. This Swagger is also created by a developer when he is provided with a documentation. So this is not a documentation. This is really not a documentation. The documentation looks in this way. To be honest, the proper documentation looks in this way. Default Postman service. Okay. This is how a documentation looks. It should it should say everything. It should like if I go to this Swagger is just running your requests. That is also one of the tool where you can run requests, but it is not a documentation. I don't know. I mean,
You can test on it in
yeah,
this
you can test on
like
it.
it
You can
is
test the
test.
same. You can
Mm.
test the same on Postman as well. Why you want
Yeah.
to go to Swagger if when we have Postman tool, then there is no need to test it on Swagger because Swagger and Postman are the same. They give the same results for you. Whereas
Mm.
Postman gives you more information, to be honest, more information. I mean, when you, let's say, over here and go back to this web API and add a product and send it. Here you have this test results, headers, and this information, status code, everything, and you have console. But in Swagger, I never saw that we have that thing. Okay, let me run one Swagger here, and that is not at all documentation, to be honest. Swagger REST API. Hmm. Good. Okay. Now let's say try it out. Okay. And then we don't, okay, no parameters. So we just click on execute and we got it here.
Ashish.
Huh.
So one of my friend, he has a document how
Huh.
it looks like. So
Huh.
if we can share this, so everyone should clear how it look like.
Which one? Sorry.
The documentation. I'll share a link to you. Then you go. Okay.
Okay.
See, I sent. Sorry, I sent to Arvind. I think so. Wait.
No worries, no worries.
Do delete to everyone, then you can send to Ashish again.
Yes. I send Ashish.
Okay. Mhm.
Renu, just to highlight on this, okay. So the documentation that like depends on the organization to organization. Some people write this SRS using like acceptance criteria and all that, user stories acceptance criteria. So it is totally dependent on organization how they are, which framework they are adopting. So which one I have shared you the document, it is based used in my organization, and it can be subjective to all people.
Sorry, I missed something here. Like,
Yeah, Ashish, hi.
hi, Raghav. Yeah.
Yeah, Renu sharing your document. So I just wanted to say that like this document, like SRS document, it is
Mm-hmm.
a SRS document. So it depends
Okay.
organization to organization. So it is a
True.
subjective thing because
Mm.
everyone uses their own framework.
True, true. And uh, I'll look into that documentation. See, we have multiple ways of creating documentation. Okay, see, in my company, they used to give us user stories. I mean, cut down the documentation in chunks of user stories. Like first, they used to give this get documentation, and I think that is what Raghav was also explaining. Uh, so in the same way, but uh, documentation is really not our No, I mean, it's not our thing to do. We need not to worry about the documentation. It's only our job is to understand the documentation. We need to understand
Yes,
the documentation.
yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah, the creation of documentation, it's not our job. Never testers job is not creation of documentation. It's only understanding. So let's say if you're working on this NASA thing, okay, here the documentation is provided in this way. Okay, the documentation is provided in this way. So everyone has their own way of presenting documentation. We cannot only say, okay, it should be in a swagger way. This is the only way we need to have a documentation. That is really not true in real world. Postman has a documentation. Rest assured has a different way of documenting, and some have user stories. Like if I go to Azure DevOps, there we create user stories and we provide the documentation. So please do not worry about how the documentation is provided to you. Please think how to you can understand the documentation, how you can read the documentation, in how far you can read the documentation. Now, let me give you one example here. Close this and okay. Now, if I have a simple question. If I add a product, what should be the status code of it when I'm adding a
200,
product? Sorry,
201.
20. Who? No, who said 200? Someone said 200.
Karthik.
Okay, now it should be 201. Okay, now let's say I added this. So is this correct? Adding a product. I've added a product. So the status code, is it correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now coming to recipes. Okay, now I'm again doing a same request. I mean not the same one, a different request, which is add a recipe. I'm adding over here as well. Now I'm clicking on send. What is the status code I'm getting here?
200. Okay.
So it is different, right?
Yeah.
So uh, at times in if the client says okay, it's okay if we have a 201 200, that is fine, but still as a tester developer might have, okay, he might have read, okay, we have to keep 200, okay, let me keep it 200, and he has coded 200, it should be 200, okay, and that is all done. His work is done. Now when it comes to tester's job, you have to see, oh my god, no, add a recipe, it should be 201 created, how it is 200? Then you should not raise a bug. Here, we should not raise a bug because it is a successful request. It is a successful. You need to tell BA and also inform QA, sorry, not QA, tell developer as well, stating that, see, we are adding a recipe and we expect the status code should be 201 created and not 200 created. So that is where enhancement comes into picture, patch comes into picture. I mean, yeah, patch might come into picture, or they might do it if developer has time, he might go ahead and change the code and redeploy it. That is SDLC. That is completely, I mean, that is how the process works. Like if, let's say, um, let me go to this not bad word only. Okay. And keep it 20. Okay, now let's say we found something. Okay, we found something different. So we approach BA, and we also inform dev, where we need, this is an enhancement. Okay, this is an enhancement or a change, you can say, only for this we approach BA, and also we also inform dev. So if dev has bandwidth, they say bandwidth or time, it's all one and the same, bandwidth/time. Okay, what will he do is, developer first, we will before he changes anything, okay, before changing anything, BA, dev, and tester will have a meeting, okay, and come to a conclusion. Sorry with the spellings, conclusion, and if all agree, then BA will request dev to make changes. Okay, that is where dev, if he has bandwidth or time, then he goes and changes the code, and then he will do PR review and all this. Okay, leave all those things. Then he will deploy it. First, before deploying, he will test it from his end. I mean, dev will test on his environment, which is a development environment which we do not have access to. He will be testing on it. Then he will deploy. Then it will come to, let me scroll down. Then it will come to test environment. Then we test it. Okay. If we still find an issue, if we still see 200, okay, what should we do now?
Reopen the cases, test cases.
Which case?
Reopen this test cases, whatever we have found in bug.
Bug? We haven't created any bug actually. See, okay, first in the document itself, it was stating that 200 okay. In document, it stated for add a recipe, it should be 200 okay. So developer did the same thing. He went ahead and given the response as 200 okay. But we as a tester, we got to know that it should not be 200 okay. It should be 201 created. So we went and approached BA. We also informed dev. Then we had a meeting. Then BA requested dev to make changes. Then dev made changes. Dev changed the code. Then tested on his environment and then deployed, and it came to our environment. Still, it's shown as 200 okay. Now what should we do?
Again, to inform the BON developer on the same issue.
Anyone else?
And write the mail on the regarding this particular discussion on that date, particular time.
No.
So we have
No, it's okay. No, sorry, mail. It's not required mail, and that is not required. Okay. Because discussion thing will always that will be done in the tool itself, whichever tool you are using. It might be Jira or Azure DevOps or any test management tool which you're using, or ALM tool which you're using. So now, after all these discussions, after dev making changes, still it shows 200 okay. Now what should you do?
Go back to the requirements.
Why will you go back to the requirements? Requirements already have been done. It has now BA asked dev to change it to 201 created. So it's all done. Requirement has been changed. Now it should be 201 created, but it still shows 200 okay. Now what should you do?
Ashish,
Yeah.
we'll check
can we
again
check
this
the build?
Sorry.
we'll check this build is properly built up on day to test
No,
server.
that is done. That is also done. Deployment was successful. Okay, let me keep it successful. Okay.
Okay, then
Now,
it's no idea about that tomorrow.
Change the test environments.
no, you have only one one test environment. Sorry, Mayur, you
Only
said
one.
something.
No, actually, I'm just trying to say about build. What Karthik mentioned already. It's
No,
related to build
deployment was
only. Yeah.
on developer testing environment. It was 201 created. Okay, let me give more finite information. It was 201 created on developer. When he tested, it was 201 created. But when we are testing it, it's 200 okay. Now what should we do? Document also updated. Okay, let me say this as well. Document also updated. Document updated to 201 created. Now what should we do? create a bug. Simple. Create a bug and give it to the developer. Because first time the document was 200 okay. So developer did it in 200 okay. That was not his fault. That was not at all his fault. Okay, the document said 200 okay. So developer created as 200 okay. Then we went ahead and spoke to BA and dev. Then everything worked out and the document got updated to 201 created, and then developer made changes, and on his testing environment it was 201 created. He confirmed okay it was 201 created, then he deployed, which was successful. But on our testing environment it is 200 okay, still it is 200 okay. So there is something still wrong with the code. There is still wrong with the code, so we need to create a bug and assign it to the developer. Here don't go to BA again, please don't go to BA again. You can directly approach dev and say that we are still getting the same 200 okay. So what here dev does is definitely dev will not agree to this point so soon. It's a common nature, okay. So he will test on your system once again, he will confirm okay. Once he get confirmed, then he will take that bug, and then it's a bug life cycle which you need to follow, create and all those things, bug life cycle. Okay, understood? No?
Yes.
Yes,
Ashish,
yes,
can
yes.
you
Yes,
repeat
yes,
again?
yes.
Okay, see, let's say first when the documentation came in, okay, when the documentation came in for add a recipe, in the documentation it was stated that it should be 200 okay. Okay, and developer took the same documentation and he created in the same way. He went with okay it should be 200 okay, status code should be 200 okay. When we tested it, we got to know that when adding a recipe it should be 201 created and not 200 okay. So here we did not create a bug. We did not create a bug because documentation said 200 okay. So then we approached BA and also informed dev stating that 201 should be the status code and created thing. Might be in between BA might have approached customer or client and say and explained him as well that when we are adding something then it should be 201 created. So client or customer also agreed. Then BA approached dev and said please make the changes as 201 created. Do not keep 200 created, 200 okay. Keep it 201 created. Then dev made changes, and he tested on his environment. It was 201 created, all successful, all good at his end, all good. Then he was confirmed, okay, it's all good. Let me deploy it. After deploying successfully, then when it came to testing environment, we got to know it's still 200 okay. So here, as the documentation is updated to 201 created and BA and dev both agreed to this 201 created, and dev also tested on his environment and it was 201 created, still we got 200 okay. That is where we create. What do we create?
Bug.
Yes, say loudly, it's fine. We create bug.
Bug.
Okay, happy. Now we are happy. We are troubling developers, right? So we are happy. Okay.
Who
So
is
that is
developer here?
so this is how the process goes. So
Okay.
first, always read the documentation, understand the documentation. Creation of the documentation in any format that was provided to you, that is not our worry at all. That is not at all our worry. Our worry is only reading the documentation, understanding the documentation, and testing according to the documentation. And if you find any issues when it is already in the documentation, create a bug. But if you think should be a change in the documentation, then please approach BA and developer. Do not create a bug. Do not create a bug, because that bug will be deferred or cancelled. There are some names, okay, deferred. I think deferred, mostly deferred. It will be deferred. So do not create a bug if it is not in the documentation. Okay, great. So yeah, so API testing. Okay, this is done. Now let's go to 7 document.
Ashish, I
Yeah.
think so it's enough for today. Let
Yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
is enough today. We are so
Yes,
much
Ashish,
tired.
yes.
We are tired so much now.
Oh my God. Uh, okay. See, okay, let me tell you one more thing. Okay, I'll give you a
Yeah,
heads up.
go on.
Last thing, okay. See, from 28, from
Mm.
28, next Friday, that is next Friday, till
Okay.
8th, I will not be in hometown, okay. I'm traveling to other places. So it's all completely, I mean, yeah, it's, you can practice or you can, yeah, you can go ahead and learn different
Okay.
things. And yeah, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to complete on this 24, 25, 26, 27 path variables and authorization. Path variables and authorization should be completed so that manual testing will be completed over here. Then once I come back, then I can start automation. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It's
Means you are going to take our manual testing, yeah. It's will be really good, yeah.
sorry.
You are going to take our manual testing part?
No, no,
No,
Ankit.
man.
It's in
Are on API part manual testing.
Okay, okay,
on
okay. That's
API.
okay. I got
Yes.
confused. Okay, I
No,
got
Are
I
confused.
already
know
we are
man.
doing the
Oh
manual
my.
things
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
We are already doing the
Yes.
manual things. That are the things like get post put all the
yeah,
Okay,
we
interactions
are
okay.
we are
doing
doing. It
manual.
is the manual
Okay, I
things
No,
got
now.
no,
confused. You will teach
Okay.
us manual testing also.
no. I am not teaching manual testing.
Oh, I mean, like,
I'm not
if
teaching
then it
manual
will be
testing.
enjoyable that you will teach. It will
No,
very good, yeah.
I'm not that good at manual testing, to be honest. I'm
Okay,
really
okay.
not
Sorry
that
for
good.
that.
No, please don't be sorry. I'm happy. I'm not that good at manual testing. Um, so yeah. So okay, okay. Before you all leave, uh, can anyone share their screen and tell me who have added a request, a negative scenarios, any of the negative scenarios? Did anyone do it?
No,
Neg-
Ashish, we just do the positive
No,
scenarios
Ashish.
and
We
practice.
haven't.
And
uh,
I did, me and Nadia did session 6
uh-huh.
documentation. We went through,
Hmm.
and it's almost 2 hours we spent on this, and we just joined the meeting. I got up early, very early in the morning.
Same. I am also
Oh,
going through your documents now. Going because
oh.
yesterday lecture I missed, so I have to cover that also.
Right, no worries. Yeah, I remember Ankit. No worries. And how is your health now?
No, 90% okay, 10% little.
Okay. Now
Mm.
Saturday and Sunday, please do rest yourself.
Yeah, I
Okay.
also plan to take rest. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not.
please do take a rest. And yeah, and so 28 to 8, I'll be not there. So yeah, please carry on with your other
Mm.
learnings and keep
Mm.
learning and keep practicing. And yeah, 6 is done, right? 7 and 8. Okay, fine. I'll try to complete it. Path variables and authorization. Authorization, I need 2 days actually. That is the reason. And
Mm.
one last thing. Only okay. This is the last thing. Okay.
Mm.
You know how to drag these things, right? How to drag the request into the
Yeah,
folder.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. And
I'm
also
pretty good, Ashish, in it now.
amazing. And one last thing, when you click on new, you can also when you click on this new button over
Mm.
here, you can create a collection, environment, and workspace. But I still
Mm.
prefer doing it from here. Still doing it from here, which will really helpful. And yeah, okay. No more, no dragging it. Okay, please carry on. Okay, enjoy your weekend, have fun, and yep.
Yeah, same to you, Ashish. You also
Thank you,
enjoy.
Thank
Ashish.
Okay,
you, thank
Ashish,
you,
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very
bye
much.
bye,
Same to you. Thank you. Have a nice
Thank you, Ashish, for
weekend.
your
thank
time.
you, bye
Mm.
bye.